The Roman Empire, a byword for power, for order, for civilization itself. Yet even the mightiest empires can falter. For the Romans, the 3rd century AD was a time of unprecedented chaos, a period historians now call the crisis of the 3rd century. Imagine a world where emperors are murdered with alarming regularity. Picture legions clashing not with foreign foes, but with each other. This was the Roman Empire at its breaking point. The crisis of the 3rd century, spanning from 235 to 284 AD, was a period of profound turmoil that threatened to tear the Roman Empire apart. Multiple emperors rose and fell, often meeting violent ends. Civil wars erupted, tearing at the fabric of the empire. External enemies sensed weakness, launching devastating raids into Roman territory. The very foundations of Roman power seemed to crumble. The year 235 AD marked a turning point in Roman history. The Emperor Alexander Severus, young and idealistic, was murdered by his own troops. This act of violence unleashed a half-century of chaos and bloodshed. Severus's death ushered in an era of rapid imperial succession. Emperors came and went with alarming speed, often proclaimed by their legions in defiance of the Senate. These so-called barracks emperors were often skilled military men, but their reigns were short-lived and violent. They were more concerned with consolidating their own power than with governing the vast empire. Intrigue, betrayal, and assassination became commonplace in Roman politics. The very institution of the emperor, once a symbol of stability, was now deeply unstable. The internal political turmoil had a devastating impact on the Roman Empire, shaking its very foundations and creating an atmosphere of uncertainty and fear. The constant fighting between rival claimants to the throne drained the imperial treasury and weakened the empire's defenses. This relentless power struggle left the empire vulnerable to external threats and internal decay. With the central government in disarray, provinces began to act independently. Governors and local leaders seized the opportunity to assert their own power, further fragmenting the once unified empire. Tax collection became difficult, further exacerbating the empire's financial woes. The lack of funds crippled public services and infrastructure projects, leading to widespread neglect and decay. The once mighty Roman army, plagued by low morale and constant warfare, struggled to contain the growing threats on multiple fronts. Soldiers, weary from endless battles, lost their fighting spirit. The empire was in freefall, spiraling towards an inevitable collapse as its institutions crumbled under the weight of internal and external pressures. To compound matters, the Roman Empire faced a severe economic crisis. The once thriving marketplaces were now shadows of their former selves, struggling to survive. The constant warfare disrupted trade while inflation soared. Merchants found it increasingly difficult to conduct business, and the economy suffered greatly. The silver content of Roman coins was debased, leading to a loss of confidence in the currency. This devaluation caused prices to skyrocket, further destabilizing the economy. The empire's infrastructure, once the envy of the known world, began to crumble from neglect. Roads that once connected the vast empire were now in disrepair. Roads fell into disrepair, bridges collapsed, and aqueducts ran dry. The lifelines of the empire were breaking down, isolating communities and disrupting daily life. The Roman way of life, for centuries a symbol of prosperity and order, was disintegrating. The once bustling forums and public spaces were now abandoned, echoing the decline of a great civilization. As if internal strife and economic collapse were not enough, the Roman Empire also faced a resurgence of external threats. Barbarian tribes, sensing Roman weakness, launched devastating raids across the empire's borders. The Goths, Vandals, and Alemanni, among others, ravaged the provinces, plundering cities and taking captives. In the east, the Persians, under the Sassanid dynasty, renewed their assault on Roman territory, capturing the Emperor Valerian in 260 AD. This humiliating defeat sent shockwaves through the empire, further highlighting the gravity of the crisis. The Roman Empire, once seemingly invincible, was now fighting for its survival on multiple fronts. The crisis tested the very limits of Roman resilience, threatening to extinguish the flame of Roman civilization. Yet even in its darkest hour, the Roman spirit endured. From the ashes of chaos and despair, a new breed of emperor emerged, one who would rise above the turmoil and lead with an iron fist. This emperor would restore order, reunite the fractured empire, and hold back the relentless tide of barbarian invasions that threatened its very existence. His name was Aurelian, and he is remembered throughout history as the restorer of the world, a title that speaks volumes about his impact. Aurelian, a soldier emperor of humble origins, possessed a ruthless determination and a keen military mind, qualities that set him apart from his predecessors. He understood that the empire's survival depended on its unity and strength, and he was willing to do whatever it took to achieve that goal. Aurelian's reign, though short, was marked by decisive action and remarkable achievements that would leave a lasting legacy. He defeated the Goths in a series of fierce battles, pushing them back across the Danube River and securing the empire's northern borders. He crushed the Gallic Empire, a breakaway state in Gaul and Britain, reintegrating it into the Roman fold and reasserting Roman dominance in the west. He defeated the Palmyrene Empire in the east, restoring Roman control over vital regions such as Syria, Palestine, and Egypt, which were crucial for the empire's stability. Aurelian's victories restored a sense of order and stability to the beleaguered empire, bringing hope to its citizens and strength to its borders. He reformed the coinage to combat inflation, strengthened the army to ensure its effectiveness, and restored the defenses of Rome itself, building the Aurelian walls that still stand today as a testament to his enduring legacy. The crisis of the 3rd century left an indelible mark on the Roman Empire, shaking its very foundations and altering its trajectory forever. The empire that emerged from the crisis was in many ways different from the one that had entered it, having undergone significant transformations in its structure and governance. Gone were the days of rapid expansion and unchallenged power, replaced by a more defensive and cautious approach to territorial management. The empire was smaller, poorer, and more militarized, with a heavy emphasis on protecting its borders from external threats. The emperors who followed Aurelian, such as Diocletian and Constantine, implemented sweeping reforms to address the myriad problems that had plagued the empire during the crisis. Diocletian divided the empire into 4 administrative units, each ruled by a co-emperor, to make it easier to govern and to ensure more effective control over its vast territories. He also introduced a rigid social and economic system, binding people to their professions and social classes in an attempt to bring stability and order to a fractured society. Constantine continued Diocletian's reforms, further centralizing power and making Christianity the official religion of the empire, which had profound and lasting impacts on Roman society. These reforms, while successful in stabilizing the empire in the short term, also laid the groundwork for the eventual division of the empire into East and West, a division that would shape the future of Europe for centuries to come. The crisis of the 3rd century serves as a stark reminder that even the greatest empires are not immune to decline and fall. It highlights the fragility of political institutions, the importance of strong leadership, and the constant challenges posed by internal strife and external threats. The crisis tested the very limits of Roman resilience, but it also revealed the enduring strength of the Roman spirit. From the chaos and despair emerged a new Roman Empire, one that was forever changed by the trials it had endured. The crisis of the 3rd century, though a dark chapter in Roman history, ultimately paved the way for a new era of Roman rule, one that would leave a lasting legacy on Western civilization.